to the Lifeboat Live. We have 4 simple rules. Number 1, we don't discuss politics. Ever. Number 2, this is not a religious channel, and while you might hear people say, God bless you, or I'm going to pray for you, or I wouldn't have gotten through this without my faith, that's fine. What's not fine is to say, my God is better than your God, or here's why you're not getting into heaven. It's not going to fly. Number 3, we believe wholeheartedly if you can't control your tongue, then you can't control your life. So while on board, there's not going to be any cursing in the live chat. Period. And number 4, there is no room for mean people on the lifeboat. Because we discuss very sensitive things from people's past in our group setting, we got to protect those people. The only way they feel confident and comfortable discussing those things is in an environment that is free of trolls and mean people. So if you're a mean person or you're a troll, we're going to block you for life. And if your account happens to be less than 24 hours old, we're probably a little suspicious right from the word go. Why? Well, because there are people in this world who enjoy being cruel solely for the sake of being cruel. It's not going to fly here. But if you're here because you're trying to get sober and live your best life, then you might find that the lifeboat is just that, a lifeboat. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and we will see you on deck.
Hey, everybody, I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and on the other side of the glass, as always, is my partner and friend. He would be Captain Mark Wages. I'm going to mute my phone because if I don't, I can assure you it's going to ring. So let me get that done. And here we are. Welcome to the lifeboat, everybody. I want to thank everybody that reached out and commented on last night's live feed. There's a lot of really, really positive stuff that was said on the show from last night, and you know what? We really appreciate that stuff. We really do. There was, the occasional, as always, there's always 1 or 2 people that don't like what you do, and that's the nature of the beast. And I'm pretty happy with what we did. I think it was a good show. I think it really was. The dream that we have, it seemed like a very good idea to use yesterday as an opportunity to talk about what it is that we really what we dream is the best case scenario here on the lifeboat and in life in general. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is that it's a tough world we live in, and people don't like treating addicts the way that they probably ought to be treated, and that's unfortunate. At best, that's unfortunate. At worst, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, yes, I was agreeing with you. I just wanted to give you props too for that topic yesterday. I really thought it was spot on, and I thought it applied to what was going on because, yeah, obviously that day. So I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that. There was one person that thought that that I was taking advantage of someone, and that it showed a lack of respect for Martin Luther King. And to that person, I say, pound sand. There are very few people on this planet that have more respect for Martin Luther King than I do. Not only as a human being, but just as a talented speaker. My hero, my idol in terms of speaking, the best that ever lived, and I mean that. There's a lot of really great speakers out there, but none can hold a candle to Martin Luther King. And I can assure you that for those who think that I don't know, I harbor some form of animosity or racism, then you don't have a friggin' clue, pardon me, of who I am. And for that's about all I got to say about that. We're going to talk today about jealousy, and it's boy, you know what? It's such an important subject. It really is. There are some people that there were some comments made yesterday from people who were just really looking out to care for us. And I appreciate that. When you really want to go out of your way to make sure that you're protecting the lifeboat and its interests, that is just such a kind thing. Unfortunately, about half of the time when somebody says that, they're full of crap. They really are. They have an agenda, and they just want to make it sound like they're out to, to protect us. We are affiliated with a channel by stretch of luck, if no other reason. We are affiliated with the channel. It is not something that it's a situation that I think is a mutual admiration society. And there are some people who dislike that channel for a whole host of reasons that I'm not going to get into here because they're an utter waste of time. I assure you, though, that they're not out to get your children and sacrifice them and some of the other great things that people suggest that they may be involved in. And of course, I'm talking about Marfugel. I am blessed that Marfugel has taken an interest in what we do. We are a very, very small channel. And for those of you who think that, they have latched onto us so that they can steal our souls and harvest all of the information there is on us, find it very remarkable that they chose such a huge powerhouse as the lifeboat in order to do that. Good choice on their part, don't you think? I mean, because when you've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, I should imagine that targeting larger channels must be difficult, so these 3,600 people channels are probably the ones to go on. I love Marfugel News. I love Marfugel TV, everything that they do. And if that's something that offends you, that I like them and that I believe in them, I'm really sorry. Truthfully, I am. I hope it doesn't get in the way of your sobriety, and I hope it doesn't run you off of who we are. But I do research on my own, and I come to believe or disbelieve the things that are said about people. And it's a perfect topic for tonight, because I find that more often than not, when people start to hurl stones, it is very often done because of jealousy. And we live in a very unusual arena, don't we? We have a channel here on YouTube, and the purpose of our channel is to help people get sober. Purpose of our channel is to not, become pootie pie. We're not looking to make $40 million a year through the purpose of what we do. We're not in the market to do data mining or soul stealing or any of the other things that people may like to think that that's where we're going. Let's talk about jealousy in all of its forms. In sobriety, jealousy is one of the most dangerous things that you can possibly dabble in. And it comes in so many different ways. One of the things that you're going to find that comes up often in jealousy, in sobriety, is there is a underlying current of people who are jealous that they can no longer get high. Sad, but true. Now, coming to grips with that and being honest with yourself that, I hate that cat. I really can't stand that person. And do you know why? Well, I don't. I'm going to come up with 4 or 5 other reasons that I'll tell you why I can't stand them. But the truth of the matter is, well, they can drink on the weekends and then not drink on Monday. And I hate them for that. Or they have been able to control their drug use, and for them, it is actually recreational. Very often we find ourselves, especially early on in the game, resenting people who seem to be able to get high. Sad, right? Because getting high is one of the things that is destroying our life more than anything. Yet part of us just wishes we could still do it. We could still somehow have a handle on being able to just keep getting high and keep doing what we're doing without it interfering with our life. And it is so hard to like somebody who seems to be able to do that. Sad, but that is one of the first ways that jealousy rears its head in sobriety. And if you're going to be honest with yourself, and I think that's probably a pretty important thing if you hope to remain sober, take a good look at why you dislike the people that you dislike. If you're feeling jealous, or if you're finding yourself not liking somebody, ask yourself why. Really start to break it down. And what is the reasoning behind that? I'll tell you another thing that pops up. Again, very, very sad. But one of the things that you see very often in sobriety is that we look at people who seem to have sobriety better than us. You know what I mean? We look at someone and we go, boy, that Mark Wages has got 11 years of sobriety and he's happy all the time. The guy doesn't deal with any kind of, stress. He just seems to always be a chipper, skipper. And there's nothing really that's bothering the guy. I got news for you people. When you see someone and they come out and they say, I've got 7.5 years of sobriety, you're not here when we're in the green room and Mark is saying, how was your day today? And I say, boy, it was a bad one. This was not a great day. And I'm struggling. There's some stuff going on in business. There's some stuff going on with my family. You're not privy, right? Not just to us, but to people in general. So we look at somebody's sobriety and we judge it instantly, don't we? Boy, that guy's got it under control. You have no idea what that person goes through in order to keep their sobriety. And for that reason, we harbor feelings against them that are based in nothing but jealousy and ignorance, right? Because we assume to know that these people are, boy, they're killing it. And it's so easy for them. God, well, it's easy for that guy, He quit and he never had a problem. People, I want to tell you something. Nobody quits and doesn't have a problem. I'll use my brother Johnny because he's my brother, and I can usually feel pretty good about using Johnny. He's going to put up with it because we're blood. But Johnny was able to quit drinking his first time. When he set down the bottle, he never picked it back up. But if you think that means that he had it easy, well, then you just don't know, right? There have been days that have been very, very difficult for that man. And I know because he calls me, right? I'm the first name on that list. I am his first name on his list of 5. And I happen to know that he has struggled mightily in times. Now, he never relapsed. He never went back and he used. And he probably has been very successful at keeping that at bay. But people, that doesn't mean it's been easy. I've got news for you. If you're looking for easy sobriety, right? If you're looking for that sobriety that's going to be just smooth sailing without any hiccups and it's just going to be easy for you, I got news for you. That doesn't exist, right? I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to lie to you and I'm not going to paint pictures of puppies and kittens and roses. It doesn't work that way. I don't care how long you've been sober. There are going to be days where your drug screams in your ear all day long. The difference between the person who is successful and the person who fails is that they have learned a set of coping skills to get them through those days. And boy, I hate to beat a dead horse, but it's the nature of what we do. Those coping skills involve reaching out to people and being honest. Honesty becomes the backbone of sobriety. 100 out of 100 times. If you're remaining sober, it's because you're honest. And you know what? You start by being honest with yourself, right? Hey, I'm having a bad day. Hey, I kind of feel like using. Hey, well, this is one of those days where I just wish I could turn my brain off for maybe 8 hours because what I'm going through today just hurts, right? That's how it starts. It starts with honesty. Now, if it's going to stop there, if that's going to be the one spot where you think, I can handle it, right? I can handle this. I got this because I'm honest with myself. No problems, right? I'm going to remain sober. I got news for you. It doesn't work. It doesn't. You need to take that honesty to the next level. You have to take that honesty to someone else. And it's amazing what that person will do for you. And if you're sitting here right now and you're saying, you know what, man, I just don't have my 5. Are you trying? Be honest. Are you trying? People, if you're in the comment section today, you're in the chat and you're listening to me and you're willing to help somebody, if they're hurting, put a 1 in the comment section right now. If you're willing to be somebody's 5, can you throw a 1 up in the comment section for me? Would that be possible? Toss up a 1 and let the people around you know that if they're hurting, they can reach out to you, right? They can call out and say, yeah, you know what? I'll help you. If you need someone to talk to, I would be more than happy to help you. What do you know? Heather's willing to do it, right? We've got Charlie Mullins is willing to do it. We've got AKA Heather Joy. Diary of a Madman's there. Vivian P says, why not? I'll do it. Hey, look at this. Niall is in the comments section. Niall, I want to tell you something. This is important to me, and I'm glad that you're here. This was a difficult situation, and it takes tremendous courage for Niall to be in the comment section today. And it takes a I have an utmost amount of respect for this man for being here. But I want to tell you something. If he never came back, and he never answered another message from me and he blocked me, I would still love him. And I'm not throwing that term around lightly. I really am not. It's not one of those terms that people throw around on the lifeboat or on social media in general. I love him. Niall, I love you. I really do. And I know that life isn't perfect for you, brother. It really isn't. And you know what? It's not perfect for anybody. Niall put a comment up in the group page over on Facebook. And it was a level of honesty that, you know what, you just don't see very often. So if we judge somebody by their mistakes, right? If we judge somebody based on things that happen to them while they're using, see that cool sign over my left shoulder? I'm going to recommend you use it.
There's an
Because
emoji coming for that too, just so you guys know.
There should be, right?
There is.
Thank God.
There is.
Thank God. There really should be. I want to tell you something, people. Hey, welcome, Cody. Glad that you're here, man. Glad that you're here and you look good in green. People, the things that we do when we're under the influence, right? That isn't who you are. Do you understand that? The mistakes that you make when you're high, the mistakes that you make when you're drunk, that's not you. If that's a concept that's foreign to you, then I'm awful at what I do. And you know what? Mark sucks too. Because if that's what we have gotten across to you in a year and a half of doing this, then we suck at this.
Exactly.
Alcohol and drugs will make you do things that aren't you. Get a good look. Seriously. Get a good look right now. Do I look like a bank robber to you? Do I look like a gun runner to you? Do I look like a person who would stab their best friend in the back so that I can continue to get high? Is that who you think I am? Because that is the person I was when alcohol or drugs were at the helm. You know, for me, it was heroin. But when drugs or booze are at the helm, then that's not who you are. Do you understand that? If that's who you were, there wouldn't need to be a lifeboat. We could all just say, you know what? They're dirtbags, and we could leave them alone. The reason there's a lifeboat is because we know that the person below that is an amazing human being. And I want to tell you something else while we're on this subject. Niall Parkinson's came on here, and he did many shows with us. And he espoused wisdom that helped people. In fact, they wrote it. They put in the comment section, I get so much out of Niall being here. I got news for you. I don't care. I don't care whether or not he had his life together. He wasn't here to show off. He wasn't here, right, to poke fun at us. He was here because he truthfully thought that he had an understanding of addiction that others might not have. And I'll tell you something, with the amount of time that this man has spent using, the amount of time that this man has spent drunk, I believe he has that knowledge. I really do. I invite Niall to come on to this show if he's comfortable. I invite him to come on and do maybe 1 or 2 shows. I don't know if it'll get done in 1, but I will happily give him an opportunity to come on here if it takes 1 or if it takes 2 or whatever. I would like you to understand the reasons that these things happen, not because it's a punishment for Niall, and not because it is going to exonerate Niall. No, I want it to happen because it is an understanding that every single one of us need. How do I go from a guy that comes on a channel like this and truthfully, more than anything in the world, wants to help people get their life in order, to put all the money in the bag? Right? Where do you go from, honestly, I just want to help people get sober, to give me the top and bottom drawer right now, quickly? Obviously, 2 really different people, right? But they're not. That's Tommy Scoville. Tommy Scoville, the bank robber. Tommy Scoville, the liar. or Tommy Scoville, the captain that wants to help people. It is the exact same person. The difference is the drug. The difference is if you're under the influence of that substance. And you know what? It is really easy to be jealous of somebody that you think has it all together. Right? And there is a certain superiority that we like to feel when we think we got one over on people. I promise you, sad but true, there are people in this group who thought, you know what? I knew Niall was drinking. I knew that cat wasn't what he says he was. I knew that person wasn't. If you're taking joy in that, you need a lot of help.
Yep.
More than I can give you. If you're taking any satisfaction at watching one of our brothers or sisters fall, then you need help. Help beyond what I can give you. Help beyond what my bobble-headed partner can give you. We can help you get sober. But if you enjoy seeing someone knock down a peg, that's sick. It really is. It's sick. And I'd like to believe that we're better than that. In fact, there's a part of me that really does believe that that's not the kind of crew we are. It made me feel amazing how many of you reached out and said, you know what? I don't care, man. I love the guy. The number of people who put that in the comment section, you can go back and read it. The number of people in the comment section that said, I don't care. Obviously, he's not doing that to have fun. He's doing that because he's working through some really hard stuff. And this is a sickness. People, if you don't believe this is a sickness, there's a really great sign over my left shoulder. Right? What we deal with is a mental illness. It is. It is a disease of the mind. And it manifests itself in so many different ways. And Niall has been brutally honest with what causes him to do the things that he does. And I would love, if he's comfortable, for him to come on and put it in his own words, because I think he could do a much better job than I could.
Yes.
You agree? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. I mean, honestly, and I think that, and here's the small advantage that me and Tommy have in situations like this is we're able to talk, and we've had very lengthy conversations with Niall. So, correspondence in the background, obviously just what friends do when if we're having people on the show and stuff like that, we like to get to know people. And, even past that, don't have to come to show for that. But what I'm saying is that we've spent extra time with Niall. So, we see things and we talk to Niall about things, and we did even prior to, and, just back and forth and things like that. Not to say that what happened didn't take me aback for a second. I'm not saying that at all, but the man stepped up and and apologized. I mean, that is something that is, I can't explain how much respect I have for somebody that does that, because I know how hard it is. Because I think all of us that are in recovery, we have to do that at some certain level, especially with the people that we love. And I think Niall loves us. I really do.
There's not a doubt in my mind.
And why else would he be back here if he didn't?
There's not a doubt in my mind.
So that should show it right there. And that's really all I got to say.
This is the third time, people. Right? You've been on the boat for any length of time. This is the third time that something like this has happened. And you know what? It's probably the 10th time, but it's the third time that we were able to catch somebody in a situation where we knew they were being dishonest to an end, whatever that end is. The third time. Do you know the difference between the other two? They ran like hell.
Yeah. Yep.
They did. They ran like hell.
100.
And I think that that is a statement on who they are and what it is they were getting out of being here. If no matter how painful it is, if you really care about the people you're talking to, you're going to be back. And one person came back, the other two left. Niall said, if you put a link in the comments, Mark, he would love to talk to us today.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Niall, I would love to set this up. I don't think this is something we're going to pull off in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so.
I really don't. I'd
like to do a show or two on it. I mean, honestly.
Me too. And if you reach out to me, we will set this up, and I promise you it's going to be elbows, right?
Right.
Because there's not going to be too many people that are going to want to miss that. And it's something, with all due respect, that I would like to build for. because I don't want one person on this boat that misses that can say, yeah, well, that dude did. No, I'd like you to hear, because there but for the grace of God goes us. I'll tell you something right now. If you could take the lies that I told to continue to do the things that I did, right? Or the lies that I told to create a world that I wanted to be real, and you could flash them in front of everybody, I would like to believe I would have the guts to come back. I don't believe I would. I'll be really honest with you. I'd like to believe that I would. I think more than likely I would have run. I'm not sure if I'm made of the material that would have said, this is it, this is who I am. So Niall, please reach out to me, because I would like to give you an entire show dedicated to that. I think it's important. But today I do want to bang out the rest of this of what we're talking about when we talk about
Jealousy.
when we talk about jealousy, because I think that there's so much more to unpack here, and I think it's really important. Folks, unlike watching a television show, we've talked about this before. You go and you watch a television show and you say, oh, I love that show. You know what? Those actors are great. I really enjoy the plot line. I like it when they do this, this, or this. Or the person does commentary, and I love this guy's take on everything. It's such a great way of explaining exactly what it is he's trying to get across. And I enjoy it. I really do. I can't get enough of it. In fact, if this person is doing a show of any kind, I want to be there, right? That's not the big red button. I'm looking right now, and in fact, let me do this right. Put on my Homer Simpson glasses.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah, right. I don't look bad in Homer Simpson glasses.
Oh, you look good.
I'm looking right now, and I'm going like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 right off of the top, just in a quick glance, of people who have their own channels. Right? Unlike watching a regular television show, you have your own show. Now, some people have shows that are very large. Some people have shows that are very small. This is a recipe for jealousy, is it not? It really is. If you have a channel and you've got 3,000 people and you're monetized and you're just a itty bitty little show, right? You're just getting off the ground and you're just starting. You can look at a show like, well, I don't know, Marfoogle, and you can say, wow, what a level of success. You know, from a guy working in the car to a guy getting to where he is now, that is impressive. He and Dex have built something that is awesome. And the Fugel fam is a very dedicated group of people. Or you can be a hater, right? And you can build you a little channel where you're just going to hack on, Marf and anybody that happens to like him. Which one of those do you think is the easier method? Huh? Honestly, stepping up to the plate and saying, I respect what that person is doing. And it took talent and it took dedication. And, we're not talking about a channel that just goes out there and says, blah, 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 right? No, they footnote their blah, blah, blahs, right? They do research. They put a lot of time and a lot of effort into what they do. So you either got to go like this, damn, right? Hats off. That is some really incredible stuff. They have built something beautiful. They have put a lot of effort into it, and they really seem to care about their audience. Or those guys suck, right? They're thieves, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're ripping people off, and really all they want is to steal your soul so that they can sell it to Satan. Sounds silly, right? But I'm telling you right now that there are people out there that have taken it to that level. And am I going to be popular for saying this? I got news for you. I don't care. One of the beautiful things about the previous season is that I have learned that I do pretty well with being hated. The whole Schrodinger's scroll thing is just absolutely fantastic. If I don't watch it, it doesn't exist. Don't get me wrong. A group of you reached out to me today and said, boy, you should hear what these guys are saying about you. My response was, boy, I really don't need to. At all. See, jealousy is what is causing that. Let me go over something with you real quick here, because it'll come up again and it'll come up again and it'll come up again. Those who can create. Those who can't, troll. If you could create and you could do it well so that people will actually listen and follow, you will build a following. That following will grow, and hopefully the message that you're trying to get out to the public will actually get out to the public. It's a beautiful concept, right? I think it is. It's a beautiful concept. The other option is we'll just troll on them. And, we went through it. We got doxxed. Hey, this is his real name, right? This is where his dad used to live. This is where his mom, the stuff that people did, classy, really classy. One of the things that I would point out too is this. If someone is saying something about you and every third word that they say has 4 letters in it, question the content, question who's putting it out there. Seriously. Because jealousy, they call it a green-eyed monster. You've probably heard that, right? There's something about jealousy. It's kind of fascinating, really, because it's difficult to be jealous and not mix in a good dose of hate, right? If I were to come out and I were to say, my bobbleheaded partner, let me tell you where I have a problem with him, right? He has a channel that is considerably larger than mine. In fact, it's, considerably larger than ours, I should say. It's about 10, 20 times larger. And it requires an awful lot of intelligence and study. He didn't just sort of wander into that. What he does on Wages World takes an awful lot of skill and an awful lot of homework, and he puts a lot of time into it. And I'm pretty proud of the guy for that. I really am. I'm proud as hell of my partner and what he's capable of. Now, the other option is that dude doesn't know anything. He's an effing, right? Okay. It's really obvious when you hear someone talk and you hear jealousy start coming through. Now, where does this really become important? It becomes important, people, because we have a job. I don't mean me and my bobbleheaded partner. I mean we, the crew of the lifeboat. We have a job. That job is really simple. It's clear cut, right? What's our job? Our job is to not get high. Pretty simple, right? That's our job. Our job is to not get high. Can I tell you some things that really make it difficult to remain sober? We go over a lot of them all the time. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, right? All of those things. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, guilty. Anger has a cousin, right? Anger has a cousin. And that cousin is named jealousy. If you find yourself feeling jealous about someone, and you got to be honest with yourself, because if you're not, then you'll just come up with reasons. He sacrifices babies. Okay, all right. If you're going to be honest about the whole thing, right? If you're going to really actually be honest, what is it that's bothering you about this person? Well, they sold out. That's always been one of my favorites too. They sold out. What, you mean they became successful? Yeah, you got to hate them for that. I have a brother who has 130,000 subscribers. In the scheme of the Big Red Button, that's a very small channel. Unless, of course, you have 3,600, in which case 130,000 is very large, right? If you've got the silver play button, then that's a large channel. I have nothing but pride for what my brother has endured. And I say endured because if you've ever seen my brother's channel, the amount of pain that he puts himself through on a daily basis, and he doesn't skip days, but the amount of pain that he has endured to build that, I have nothing but admiration for that. Nothing. But there are people out there who will find ways to tear that down. And that reason is the green-eyed monster. Now, is this a big deal? Yeah, damn right it is. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you're probably going to end up sliding back toward your substance of choice. If you are jealous, you have taken anger and you have multiplied it and you have put in an entirely different slant. And jealousy will kill you. And I don't just mean sobriety. I mean, it will kill you. I have destroyed several marriages, right? I've talked about this. I've destroyed several families. And the one of the things that happens when you start to hold on one second.
Go for it. And yeah, it's jealousy's a big thing, right? I mean,
It is.
it just wraps. It can consume you. I think that's the biggest thing for me. But yeah,
Yeah. You know, there are people who are going to disagree with people, and that's just nature. It really is. It's nature. There are a lot of people on this planet that I disagree with. There are a lot of people on this channel, on this planet, whose mission, the things that they want to get out to you, I disagree with wholeheartedly. But it doesn't create vitriol. If your disagreement with what somebody says gets sandwiched with a little bit of hate, well, then it's not a disagreement, it's jealousy. Plain and simple. Start to evaluate these emotions because they will kill you. Our job is to remain sober. If you find yourself being jealous over anything, Mark got sober and now the guy's doing really well. And you know what? He's got a lot of friends and he's got get your crap together. If this is the thought process that you're going through, then get it together. As I said, I've destroyed several marriages, right? If I see my former significant other and she's, with another guy and the guy looks like this, right? And he's buffed to beat hell. He's got a full set of hair and he drives a Mercedes Benz. Human nature is going to go, ouch. Ouch. That guy is living with my ex-wife, right? They're sharing a life that I once had. And he drives a nicer car than I did. And he's got hair. And that kind of stuff is normal, right? That's human nature, people. That is the kind of stuff that is human nature. Jealousy is something that we're going to deal with. Whether we want to or not, we're going to deal with it. The question becomes, how do you deal with it? See, I'm in a unique position to say, you know what? That's one good-looking SOB. And he's probably really having fun living with my ex-wife. But I did that. There's a reason I'm not living with my ex-wife. I earned that, right? I destroyed that marriage. So it would be pretty messed up if I then am going to be jealous of the person who replaced me, because for the love of God, I gave him the job. I handed him the job. See, if I had done my job correctly, he wouldn't be there, right? So very often it's anger in ourselves that we project in places that don't work well. For instance, I got a channel of about 3,600 people. And my competitor, well, he's got a channel of 260,000. Well, one of two things happens, right? I can say, he is the luckiest dude in the entire world. But if you've ever built a channel, if you've ever got up every day and come and done a video or done 5 videos a week of 1 hour a shot, you realize the amount of effort that it takes to actually do that. So for you to say, boy, they got lucky. Yeah. Yep. Boy, they got lucky. It's that 7 hours a day that they put in for 5 years that just made them so lucky. Right? Luck is the residue of design. You work hard and then you seem to get really lucky. People, be happy in who you've become. Be proud of the person you are today. If you have 12 days of sobriety and you're jealous because someone has 7 years, you know what? You're going to have 7 years. Are you going to hate them when you hit 7 years and they've got 14? Well, then guess what? You got a problem. And your problem is between your ears. For real. Jealousy is a disease. It's an ugly disease. So for all of you who wrote me really loving letters, yesterday that said, I care so much about you that I don't want you having anything to do with these other companies that are just evil. These channels that are just, you know what? Leave it alone. I'm a big boy. I really am. I'm 52. I'm 6'2". I'm 225 pounds, right? Been to prison a few times and managed to get out alive. I am pretty confident that I can be a judge of character for those people who choose to maybe support me, right? God forbid I take support from somebody. And I'll tell you something right now. I do draw the line. If you have a channel and you come out and you say, I want to tell you something. We have built 300,000 people, right? And we've done so by proclaiming that Satan, right, is the king of the universe. I don't want your support because you and I are not on the same page in terms of our beliefs. Okay? But the people who you seem to be warning me against, I'm not on a different page. I'm not. So if me taking support from these people makes you not want to have anything to do with me, hopefully we part with no hard feelings, right? But I assure you that the three people, and there was three of you, who reached out to tell me that I'm making a real mistake allowing these people to like me. Because we didn't say, here's $20,000, tell people how good we are. This is a group of people who saw what we do and said, you know what? I respect what you guys do. You'd like me to tell them to stop saying that, would you? Well, I got news for you. That's not going to happen. Start looking at jealousy, people. Start looking at jealousy and trying to figure out whether or not this is beneficial to you or whether or not it's eating you alive. Because that jealousy could be the ex and who they've decided to be with. That jealousy could be that person has more sobriety than I do. The jealousy could be that cat can still get high and I can't. That person drives a nicer car. That person has a nicer watch. Honestly, if this kind of jealousy is eating you alive, you know what? You need to get your fecal matter together. You need to start taking a really hard look at what it is in your life that you are putting stake into, right? What are you doing to justify who you are? Because here's how it's pretty simple. You know what I want more than anything in the world? Honestly, I want to meet two kinds of people for the rest of my life. I want to meet people that just got sober, and I want to meet people that have been sober a really long time. That's what I want. I want to meet sober people. And if your sobriety is 30 years, I couldn't be any friggin' happier in the world. The only thing, honestly, the only thing I find cooler than somebody 30 years sober is somebody 30 days sober. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not judging my sobriety by somebody else's. I'm not judging my happiness by somebody else's. I'm not judging the size of my car. I'm not judging the size of my house. And if it sounds like, I've got it all together, I got news for you. I don't. I struggle. I struggle with so many aspects of my sobriety, and I'm honest about it as much as I can. My patience level sucks. My cat is not in the basket, and she's driving me nuts, man. It's her job. Right? I'm actually really chapped that Squirrel is not sitting next to me. But I saw a really funny one.
Well, you seen what happened before the show yesterday with my dog. I had to. Yeah. That dog was going crazy, and that didn't make me none too happy either. And it just.
Well, no, and I don't think he's doing any justice.
Yeah.
When he tells you that the dog was going crazy, the dog.
He was going. I had to mute. I just like
crazy.
Yeah, she was, and you know what's funny? If anybody's got any advice on that, I'll take it because. Like at 7:45 Eastern time, this dog goes nuts. I mean, like nuts for like a half hour, 45 minutes, and then you look over and she's sleeping, and she's done. It's like, what the heck is going on with that? But can't you wait an hour to do that?
Of course not. Of course not.
But yeah, it was funny. Tommy got to see a little bit of that yesterday.
And you know what? Honestly, he's beaten on himself pretty good. But he did a pretty good job. I haven't got 2 pennies to rub together, but I'm the richest man in the world. Major, I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
See, he said, I don't have 2 pennies to rub together, but I'm the richest man in the world. You know something, right. People? If that mindset is genius. It really is. Because you know what? Happiness isn't tied to cash. It really isn't. You know what cash is supposed to do? Honestly, from a jealousy standpoint, you know what cash is supposed to be able to do? It is supposed to be able to get rid of the things that are not important in life, right? You shouldn't have to stress about rent. So if you got enough cash that you don't have to worry about rent, life is good. You shouldn't have to worry about your bills. If all of that can be taken care of, do you know what it does? It enables you to be who you are. And I've seen it turn people into asses. And I've seen it turn people into saints. Money is not evil, right? In fact, one of the most overquoted things in the world is that money is the root of all evil, right? Actually, the quote is the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yep.
There is nothing evil about money. It's dead presidents, right? It's coins with people's faces on them. There's nothing evil about that. It's how you choose to live with that stuff or worship that stuff that makes it evil or not evil. What I want more than anything in the world for all of us is to deal with hunger, anger, lonely, tired, right? Guilt, to be able to overcome those things so that we can remain sober. That's what I want for everybody here. And if you're finding yourself jealous of anybody, you know the fastest way to get rid of that? It's going to come as a shocker to you. Tell somebody. If I find myself being really jealous of a channel that's doing better than me, or a public speaker that's doing a better job than I am, right? Or a father who's doing a better job of being a father to their kid, or any of that. If I call up Mark Wages and I say, you know what? I am really struggling, Mark. I'm struggling through this right now because I feel like I'm not doing a good enough job. It's a very funny thing how my partner will actually talk me through that. My partner will do everything within his power to make sure that I'm not wrestling with that anymore. People, if you're struggling with anything, the cure to it is to talk about it. I saw a lot of ones pop up in the comments section earlier. A lot of them. And those ones were from people that said, if you've got something going on in your life and you want to talk about it, you can talk to me. We are building a place where you can go and talk to somebody, even if you don't have a 5. But you know what? There's a lot of people here willing to be your 5. There's a lot of people willing to take a call from you at any time. And you know why? Because it doesn't just help you, it helps them.
Yep.
There is nothing in the world that releases better feel-good chemicals than servitude. When you're helping somebody who is in need, that is going to do more for your brain than anything else in the entire world. If you find yourself jealous that there are people getting that, well, then that's sad, right? You can go out of your way to interact with more people, right? I feel jealous because Mark's helping 6 people. Well, then go help 7. Okay? For real. See how it feels. See if that's something that makes you feel better. You know, I'm jealous of so-and-so. They gave $7,000 to charity. Give 8. See how it feels. But truthfully, if you're allowing any of these things to get a hold of you in any way, shape, or form, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. And this is an affliction that attacks people like us. Yes. Why? Because we're not normal. We didn't learn how to deal, and we didn't learn how to cope with average emotions, right? It was our EQ, our emotional quotient, that got its butts kicked while we were under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And one of those things that rears its head is jealousy. Learning how to cope with that will save you from relapse. But the best way to do it is to tell somebody about it. And I do. Believe it, people, I do. I will call friends and say, I know that this isn't logical in any way, but I find myself really, really jealous about so-and-so. You know, the really funny thing is saying out loud, you know, I really feel jealous of Mark. By the time you finish the sentence, you feel like a jackwagon.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, it's crazy how it is. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like that with everything.
Yeah.
It's like that with everything. People, you don't realize that when you hold something inside, you know what happens? Your stupid brain validates it, right? Your brain validates everything that you hold inside, right? I'm jealous of him. And you know why? I should be, because he's a jerk and he's so proud of himself that he helps people and does all of this stuff. And then you say, hey, I'm jealous of so-and-so because he gives away so much money and helps so many people. I'm an ass. I'm an ass.
That was awesome.
Right? It is. That's just what you'll get to. I'm an idiot. I don't even know why I felt this way. I have absolutely no right to feel this way. It's just stupid. But it gets back to every single thing that we talk about. People, there's only 3 subjects on the lifeboat. I mean, we can break them down into 500 categories, but there are 3 subjects on the lifeboat. And the biggest of it is hold all of that inside, right? Hold all of that inside and watch what happens. The reason when you hold things inside, it eats you alive is because the stupid part of your brain, the part that doesn't live here, right? The part that lives here, the emotional part of your brain will reinforce stupidity. I promise you. I am jealous of Mark because he just bought a Mercedes and I'm driving a Pinto, right? The emotional part of your brain will go, damn right, you ought to hate him. You know how proud he is of that car? Man, he's flaunting it in your face. Every time he puts the key in the ignition, he just wants you to think he's better than you are. And then when you bring that to the front of your brain and the logical part of your brain starts coming to work, and I say to somebody, man, Mark thinks he's so cool every time he starts that car. I'm an idiot.
Yep.
I'm an idiot. I can't believe I just said that out loud. And the person you're talking to is going to go, you really believe that?
Or Mark will walk up to you and throw the keys to you and say, it's yours.
Really? Knock yourself out. Take it. Take it.
Yeah. Then how jerk do you feel? I mean, honestly,
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, and that's people, we choose to torture ourselves. Whether you realize it or not, you choose to torture yourself. The emotional part of your brain will reinforce every bad decision you ever made. The logical part of your brain will tear it in half. What are you going to allow to happen? Are you going to let the emotional part of your brain run your life? Well, you say, well, Tommy, how do I do that? Well, you don't tell anybody. Look, when you don't communicate, you're not engaging that part of the brain, right? The communication part of your brain, which is tied to logic. It's tied to all kinds of other cool stuff. You're not going to do that, right? You're going to turn that part of the brain off and you're going to leave all of this stuff back there in the emotional part. And the emotional part is going to hammer home bad decisions. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Mark thinks he's better than you. You're right. You're right. Marfugal, they're evil. Look at the size of the channel they got. They don't care about anybody. They don't care about anybody but themselves, which is why with hundreds of thousands of people, they stopped by here yesterday to say, you know what? I love what you guys are doing. You know how much they got out of that, right? Think of the huge payout. They did that just to steal the 3,600 people here who, by the way, all subscribe to their channel anyway. But I got people who are telling me that they're greedy SOBs who were just over here to harvest all of my people. Does that make any sense to you? All right. Stop thinking with the part of your brain that isn't logical. Okay? And one last thing, people, because this one is the death nail. Do you know how jealousy multiplies? Do you know how jealousy gets bigger and uglier? Huh? You share it with other people who don't have any intention of letting the logical part of their brain go true. We repeat things, right, as if they're stone cold facts. And there's always somebody out there who doesn't feel really solid in who they are. You know how you find those people? Recovering addicts. Yeah, recovering addicts don't really feel solid with who they are. Hey, I just want you to know those guys at Marfugal, they're sacrificing babies to Satan. That's how they're successful. And the person you say it to goes, yeah, right. Did you hear that? Hey, those guys are, good God, people. This is 2023. We're not on a schoolyard, right?
Yep.
We're not on a, and honestly, the jealousy part of this was so much bigger than all of that. But I'm here to tell you right now, I love those guys. So if that offends you, it ought to thin the herd a little, and I'm sorry about that. But they have gone out of their way to help our message reach more people. They have given us a platform that they didn't need to give. They gave us a platform that didn't benefit them in any way. In fact, if anything, it took away from their business model. When they're on there saying, you know what Wages and Thomas, what Wages Thomas are doing over there on the lifeboat, they're really helping people. So if you know somebody who's struggling with alcohol or drugs, go over there because they will do everything within their power to help you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that really helps their business model. It really does, right? Sure, certainly helps with all that sacrificing babies to Satan stuff. People get it together.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
Let the big picture stuff. Let's not let the stupid stuff really start taking up space of what could be good. Is there a video that's going to be made tonight? It is. Yeah, it is. And they're going to tell you that I'm a bank robber and I'm a dirt bag and that, you know what? You knew all that, right?
That's the difference right there.
That's the difference. I haven't lied about who I am. And you know something? I'm not proud of the person that I was, but it landed me here today.
Exactly.
You know what? You want a little pride? I'm proud of who I am today. I'm proud of what the lifeboat has done. Mark and I have done some beautiful damn things on this boat. Do you know that a guy today is on Suboxone instead of dope because of the lifeboat? Today. He's not getting high. Today. Because of you people, because of the money you donated, because of the build, but what we have built here, we're making the earth a better place. And if you're jealous of that, oh, God be with you, man.
Yep.
Pray about who you are.
Hopefully you come back, you know.
What's that?
Hopefully they come back and can get some, get something out of it too. Those people that we're talking about, we don't want bad things for those. We just want people to be sober. And, if we can facilitate that, but, we're not, we have family, we have friends, and, they're helping, and that's just what we do. All of this works together, I guess is my point. Without, like Tommy said, without all of the trials that we went through, without all the stuff that we did, all the bad things that we did in our past, I guess the biggest difference is that me and Tommy come here and we're completely 100% transparent,
right,
with our past. It's just there. I don't want to use it like a mic drop moment, like Eminem did. Screw it, I'll go acapella on 8 Mile or whatever. But the thing of it is, that's kind of what it is. Because we're completely just that way, and you just can't. For people that are like that, there's really not much you can say about us that people don't already know. And
the major said playground politics. That's a great phrase.
Yes.
Right there, man.
Yes.
And what I thought was funny too is right after that, Dennis said, "Wow, I didn't know that." The bank robbery part? Well, then let me bring you up to speed. I robbed a lot of banks. I went to federal prison for it. I was also a convicted gun runner. I did a lot of really bad stuff in my life. It was my resume. It's what brought me here today. And you know what? Nobody needs to be jealous of the life that I lived up to this point, right? That's a beautiful thing. And if you're jealous about where I'm at today, good God, people. We have a channel of 3,600 people. Think of how much you're going to hate us when we get to 250,000. Because you know what? We're not going to stop.
we're not. Nope.
We're not. And you know what? And we got some help from some really good people. There are people out there that have taken an interest and are helping us because they believe in the cause. And you know what? I love them.
Exactly.
So if that's something that bums you out, or if you think that they're really evil, then you're probably not going to like me, because you know something? They're two really good people. They're two really good people. They have huge hearts, and all of the stuff that you hear about them, prove it. It's all politics. It's all playground politics. Well said, Major.
Yep.
That's why he's got a pen next to him. You know what I mean?
That's right. He puts pen to
That's why he's
paper,
got a
baby.
pen. That's it. He is talented.
He's got a novel for a journal, guaranteed.
Yep. And he said, what you see is what you get. Yeah. I mean, truthfully, what you see is what you get. There is no room. Me too. It is the only way to be. Make your life happy and healthy. You know something, people? If this show came across as negative, hold on. That's right. Today I am on buprenorphine maintenance because of you all and your generosity. So
Awesome.
happy for you, brother.
You go, man. That's
so happy for you.
so cool.
That's
ones.
what this is all about.
That's ones in the chat, people. Please.
Yeah. Yeah, please. We'll take some ones in the chat for that, because that is a beautiful thing, man. That is freedom. That is freedom. And you know what? When he says your generosity.
Yes.
You understand? When you guys pop something up there and you say, here's $10, this is where that money goes, man. When you guys decide you want to become a a member here and you want to get a life vest, it's where this money goes. It goes to really beautiful things, and I think that is. I'm proud as hell of this place, man.
Yeah, oh
I'm
God.
I really am.
You know-
Proud as hell of this. And when I say proud of this, I mean this. All of you. No room for jealousy, people. We're better than that. All right. We're going to be back tomorrow night in the same squirrel time, in the same squirrel place, and that darn cat is going to be here. Actually, she showed up. She probably got the memo that I was not happy, so she came in here at the last moment. She's been all over the place lately. I don't know what Squirrel's problem is, but
It's the sun. No, I'm just
people-
kidding.
it could be. Could be. We are getting into those times of day.
Yep.
People, over the course of the weekend that is coming up, when the following day rolls around, there is going to be in place the structure for where you can go. Then we're going to start to train the people and everything else. But the day is coming, and it's coming very quickly, where you're going to have a chance to go and say, I need help, and there's going to be somebody there. We're going to make that happen because this is working. It's working. It's getting bigger, and that's not the important part. It really isn't. The important part is more people are getting helped. And you know what? I am thankful for the people that are helping us. And if you want me to research them because they're sacrificing babies to Satan, I'm not buying it. So to Adam and Dex, thank you for all you do, brothers. We really do love you.
Exactly.
And to everybody here on the boat, you know what? There's no room for jealousy, people. There really isn't. And there's certainly no reason to be jealous of myself or Mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on. The cat, on the other hand, has got it pretty good. Truthfully, it's a very lucky cat. So we will be back tomorrow, same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. Between now and then, be nice to one another, right? Reach out. Make sure that if there's somebody out there looking for one of their 5, you're there. You saw the ones, people. Reach out. Everybody here is ready to be part of your 5, right? And journal, damn it. Journal, 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 and then journal. I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and on the other side of the glass,
Captain Mark Wages.
and this, that's a cat in a basket. Good night, everybody. We love you.